Pete Weber has been a long-time staff member of Storm and during his long career has won many titles using their equipment. But what are the best bowling balls that Weber has actually won a title with? That's what I'm trying to find out in this video. Now, Weber has used Storm equipment for a long time. In fact, I believe he signed in 1997, so that means I'm going to be focusing on the reactive bowling balls that he used mainly from the 2000s onwards, because in the late 90s it wasn't the best period for Weber due to various personal problems. It was really from the year 2000 that his career had a big resurgence. Now, Weber did have a tough time at the very start of the introduction of reactive. It took him a little while to learn how to use them, and it's interesting because Weber has admitted himself that he knows very little about modern bowling balls. He obviously understands ball motion, etc., but in the past, he's always relied pretty heavily on his ball reps to help him make good ball choices. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's a pretty good strategy. You always need to focus on what you do best, and what Pete does best is throwing the ball very well down the lane. By delegating ball selection to the ball reps, it's one less thing for him to worry about. He has complete faith in their choices, and all he has to do is go and execute the shot. So let's try and answer the question of the best bowling balls that he used to win a title. All these balls he used on a telecast, and he either used them exclusively or a large portion of the telecast where he won a title. Now, there's two bowling balls that really stand out, and these were used at titles he won at the end of his career. These stand out to me as being up there with the best balls that he ever won a title with. The first is the High Road. Now, Weber used this in the 2010 Marathon Open. I believe he started with another ball, and then in the title match, he switched to the High Road, and this ended a near 3-year title drought for him. Obviously, the High Road is one of the most successful balls of all time, and is a clear candidate for this list. Next up, we have the Marvel Pearl. This ball played a big part in Pete winning his 5th US Open title in 2012. He used this ball in his first 2 matches to defeat Ryan Schaefer and Jason Belmonte. It matched up really well and gave him a great look. He did switch to the Frantic in the title match, and is the ball he used to strike with to win the title. I think the Frantic was a good ball, but the Marvel series was just superb. Many loved this line and would love to see it brought back to the US market. I think this is one of the best balls that Weber ever won a title with, and although he didn't use it in the title match, it was a huge part of the run he made to climb the ladder. The second ball that really stands out to me was the IQ Tour Pearl. Weber used this to win the 2013 Tournament of Champions. He was the 1 seed and played Belmonte for the title. Weber used 2 of these balls, 1 pin up and 1 pin down. Now, the IQ Tour Pearl, i.e. the Gold IQ, is a legendary ball. I mentioned this ball in a video recently, and if it was re-released, I think it might be the quickest ball to sell out of all time. So many would snatch one of these in a heartbeat. It certainly looked very good in Weber's hand on this telecast. He won this match pretty comfortably against Belmonte, and it's definitely one of the best balls he has used to win a title. So what about earlier on in the 2000s? Well, it's a little trickier because I look back at some old telecasts, but often it's hard to identify which balls he's using. Back then, the commentators didn't really talk about the bowling balls used. Now, of course, we get nice graphics and lots of information about the balls in their arsenal, but in the beginning of the 2000s, not really. So I tried to do a bit of digging, but it was a little bit tricky. I did wonder if he'd ever used the X Factor on a telecast on his way to a title. That ball came to mind because Storm just announced the return of the X Factor line with the new Next Factor. I'm sure he probably used this ball quite a lot when it was released, but I couldn't find out if he ever used this on his way to a title. If any of you know, then please let me know in the comment section. In 2007, when he won the US Open, he used a Storm Shift in Game 1 and then switched to the Agent. Both of these great balls. But yeah, I could probably do with your help on this one to find some more balls that Weber used to win titles with that really go down as the best balls he ever used. And we're looking for these kind of iconic balls. If there's any that you feel should make this list, then please let me know in the comment section below. And if you like the idea of this video, then please let me know because I might make a similar video for some other players. Certainly more recent players are going to be a lot easier because, as I mentioned, the challenge with players like Weber, when you're looking for these bowling balls used throughout the 90s and early 2000s, it's a little bit tricky. What you often find is bowling forums where you just have discussions of people debating which balls were used. And yeah, it can be a little bit hard to identify which balls were used, especially as then you have to try and find records of the balls that existed then to try and match it up and see. Sometimes you can't always tell by looking at the ball. So yeah, it's a little bit trickier. Now it's a lot easier. The last 15 years or so, they started to talk a lot more about the bowling balls used on telecasts. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. What else have we got coming up? Well, there's going to be quite a few ball review videos coming out. I mean, there's new balls being announced and released left, right and center, and there's a lot of really interesting balls that have been announced that I'm keen to review. For example, Brunswick have just announced the Crown 78U. Now that looks a very interesting ball, a urethane solid. I'm very, very curious about that one, and I think I will definitely be doing a review of that very, very soon. I spoke about old balls, like the X Factor. Well, Brunswick have also announced their own revival in the Danger Zone, and they're releasing 2 of those at a very reasonable price, it has to be said. You've got the Danger Zone, which is a black ball, and then you've got the Danger Zone Purple Ice, which is a pearl. The black Danger Zone is a solid, and I think the black Danger Zone is priced at something like $119, which is pretty crazy. There's another couple of balls that I would probably be interested in doing a review for. And of course, as we know, we're getting about over 100 new bowling balls every year, so as soon as January hits, we'll definitely be hit with some more releases as well. So like I say, if you like my channel, you want to see some of these ball review videos and more videos just like this, then please hit the subscribe button below. Well, that's going to do it from me for today. And as always, thank you, bowling fans, and see you all next time.